going at it, I could just, we could separate them.
So before we get started, you will enjoy this. So
he won't enjoy it.
No, I was practicing my show, and I asked Amy. I said, as a top 1% agent, in the whole country, what's the one thing you have to get up and overcome every day? And she looks at me straight in the eyes and goes, "Well, we've been married for 25 years."
Hey everyone, Holden Hamilton, GFS Home Loans. I am excited to bring to you today two amazing guests.
So I'm Glenn Boehm with the Boehm Commercial Group, and we have a small team up in Boerne, Texas. And now we've done stuff in 16 states plus Puerto Rico, but my home office is in Boerne. And been number one Texas commercial broker for Keller Williams Commercial for a couple of years, top 10 in the United States. And we love doing commercial real estate. And that's what we do.
I won't be as dynamic as Glenn. We run the Boehm team out in Boerne, Texas as well. So we've been doing this now for almost 20 years. So got a great little office and team out there in Boerne.
Like I said, dear friends of mine, very successful agents inside the business and outside the business. They have a beautiful family. Glenn, I want to touch a little bit, and Amy as well. I want to touch a little bit on y'all's family. Y'all's family is very special to me, very special to a lot of people in Boerne. Both of you guys let me know that is a big part of your why, right? Why you guys do what you do. Why don't you walk me through, why that is your why and what it means to you to do what you do on a daily basis for your family.
Do you want to start? Because you have a great answer to this.
I do? Yeah. Well, here's the deal. At the end of the day, if our family's not together and our kids aren't successful, then why did we get up and do what we've gotten up and done? I mean, we run 80, 90-hour weeks of work, and we've done it for, almost 20 years now. So we put a lot into our business, but we also do that so we can put a lot into our family. We have a special needs daughter that absolutely we want to be sure she thrives and survives well after we're gone. So the only way to make that happen is we make that commitment to ourselves and to our family today.
When we're not here anymore, that our daughter who's special needs, that if she ever puts her hand out, it's to help someone up and not that she's reaching out for a handout, that we've left this legacy for her to be able to take care of herself and never have to depend on the state or anybody else, and then also leave what we can for our other children as well.
From an outsider looking in at both of y'all, I think you operate your business the same way, right?
Yeah.
You look at it as lending, your hand out for others to lean on and help, and you guys are very personable inside of the, transaction when we've been on it together. So I would agree with that. That's awesome. So switching gears here a little bit, I want to talk, I want to get into this podcast and, questionnaire is really here for us to coach agents out there that may be struggling in the business, whether it be commercial, residential, or even lenders that are struggling. Something I wanted to talk about, and I think that you do a really good job of in our talks and our conversations, is what habits do you have? What habits have you created that have made you uber successful in this business? And kind of share a little bit about what that daily, routine looks like.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. We just had the KW Commercial Summit. We had this similar question come up. And I said, hey, a long time ago, I asked a gentleman who was very successful. I said, what's the key to being successful in any kind of market? And he said, look, get up, dress up, and show up. And then I've added along the years is, and be focused, right? And I know this is hard, but don't get on social media and don't get on fantasy football. You can spend hours doing that stuff, but so get up, dress up, show up, and be present. And, I would say, I was asked this question when I became number one time was, what was one thing that had changed, that I had changed in my routines or my habits? And I said, it just so happens that simultaneously I read this great book, and it's called Two Chairs. And it basically talks about how you start your morning. So I implemented that, and it's a really important part of my morning. And it's getting up in the morning and getting ready. And then I do my Bible study, but there's a second chair there, and that chair is for God, for us to communicate before I go running off into my day.
Yeah, I love that.
To remind me that I need His help to get through every aspect of the life and to lean into Him. Yeah. And in this market, deals are harder to get done. It is hard to get deals done. So instead of me pressing forward, maybe take a step back and pray a little and say, okay, show me the path.
Yeah.
And it seems to help a lot.
Amy, you and my wife have a very good relationship. For those of you that don't know, Amanda is on the Boehm team as well. And I think that you've been instrumental in helping her as a newer agent. And so I thought it, be necessary for the audience out there. as a newer agent, whether it be in this market or any market, what do you feel is, your top 2 or 3 things that they could be doing right now to set themselves up for success later on?
So here's the thing is business is hard. Business was hard when it was during COVID and there were, 100 offers going on and your buyers are competing. So markets change and you just have to adapt to them. So what is it that sets yourself apart as an agent is be in it. Be in the market, whatever it is. But you do have to make sure you're showing up and you're reading those books and you're putting the good stuff into your mind, because it can get overwhelming and stressful. And then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out, like, what am I supposed to be doing? But the biggest thing is make that list the night before of all your tasks that you want to do. And then make sure you're tackling those, because as soon as your day starts, man, you wake up to those emails and texts and there's fires that you've got to put out. But if you kind of focus on the important things right away in the morning, it will help lead you into that successful day and getting those things done. But then the other thing for newer agents, if you don't have somebody like Amanda has me, she sits next to me and she asks questions all the time. If you don't have that, find that mentor. Find somebody in the office to say, hey, I would love to be able to run this idea by you, or hey, I have this issue, what would you do? And be willing to listen, because a lot of times, even as new agents, we want to prove ourselves to our clients. We want to feel like we have the answers. And a lot of times we don't. So listening to those experienced agents, hey, I've got this situation, then take their advice.
Newer agents these days, and especially on the lending side, is they're still trying to prove themselves to everyone when they don't need to prove themselves to us. We know they don't know anything. We know they don't know what they're doing. We didn't know what we were doing when we first got in it, right? So take that as a piece of advice, guys, from, again, 2 uber successful people in our industry. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know and who you can connect with, right?
And we were there once before.
Absolutely.
I sat next to a seasoned agent when I first started, and I would ask them all kinds of questions.
All kinds.
Well, and even today, on a daily basis. And she does residential and I do commercial. I will say to her, hey, I've got this going on. And I know how I want to handle it, but what's your opinion? Sometimes she validates, okay, that's exactly what I was going to do. And sometimes she goes, well, what have you thought about this? I'll say, I didn't think about that. Because basically in this industry, you solve problems all day long. I mean, you really are. You're solving problems all day long. But just getting that different perspective from someone who's done a lot of deals helps. So it can also be somebody else in your office that's done a lot of deals that you go and say, hey, I've got this. What do you think about it? And it helps.
I think, what you focus on expands, right? And that's a, KW slogan, I think. But out there, I'm a really big believer in, what you focus on expands. And that's why, Amanda and I are really into, budgeting and making sure that our money's being allocated appropriately. And in our business, we're making sure that when we're at work, we're only focusing on, our clients or our agents or whatever. So for y'all, what do you primarily focus on inside of your business or maybe externally that has helped you guys grow over the years?
For us, what we really focused on is there's a conference that we go to every year that is about life. It's about more than just work, but it does focus on work. But at the end of the day, if we sit down and go, what do we want our life to look like and how do we do that? And it's hard when you work together all day. I mean, yes, we're in 2 separate offices, but when you are working together all day, you do have to take time and separate and go, okay, let's get outside of work and sit down and go, what do we want our family to look like? What do we want our retirement to look like? What do we want our finances to look like? Where do we want to spend our money and why do we want to do that?
I can add on to what Amy what you focus on. So Amy focuses a lot on the budgets and pushing me on goal setting, and I focus on the fun. I'm kidding.
No, you're not kidding. He is all about what are we doing for fun, and then I'm like, well, how much is that going to cost?
That is true. I do plan it, or I come up with the idea and then say, okay, this is, and then can we afford it? And then we either do or don't. But either way, it is important. And so like what we talked about is those 5 areas of your life and what aspect of those areas do you focus on? And in our business, with that same concept of focus, what we do is we take our top 100 clients and we focus on those top 100. Now we still we still communicate with others, but we focus on that top 100 set of our clients, and that's what has always driven our business.
And add on to that too,
Yeah.
Holden, you always have to add new people in because, you know, your people, they move, they change, you know, their desires, your desires,
Right.
things change. So, you know, I think where people get stuck a lot of time is you do have to get out there and get new clients. So where are you going to get those?
Yeah, I mean, y'all both knew Jeff, my father, and we've talked about him on the show a little bit. What he taught me and something that I've taken with me forever is very similar to the top 100, right? We have a Monday through Friday list. You know, Mondays for our agents. What are we reaching out to our agents, making sure they're taken care of, and we have our top 40 of those, right? You guys are on that list, obviously. Tuesdays, those are our past clients, right? Are we going after those past clients? We have a top, 65 list of those, and we're doing those things. One thing that I love that y'all do is the pie party, right? Around Thanksgiving. Those are always so awesome to be a part of and see. So I agree with that. I love that. And I think that brings us into our next question is, I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what the fix is to why they're slow, right? They're trying to go, okay, is it the market? Is it me? Is it external factors? So what do you think one of the biggest issues facing our industry today would be? And how would you fix it if you have a solution? If you don't, that's fine. But what would be a problem that you guys see that either needs to be fixed or how would you fix it?
What we've done is really focus in on our relationships.
Yeah.
This everything that we just talked about is relationship driven.
Absolutely.
So we focus on those relationships, and it's our top 100 clients, other agents, our family, but we focus on those relationships, on how can I improve this relationship or to make it stronger or take it deeper, and we focus on that. Now, things that need to be fixed in the industry. So one of them that really stands out in my mind, we have the interest rate issues, which it's time for the interest rates to come down. It clearly is.
Yeah.
When you're working with another agent, and Amy can expand on this too if she wants. So our goal is to help our clients, and our goal is to get this deal across the finish line together.
Right.
So instead of being combative, right, having that relationship with the other agent to say, okay, we're not at odds with each other. We have the same goal.
Same goal in
Your
mind.
client wants to buy, my client wants to sell.
Right.
So let's get both of our clients across the same goal.
Right.
As opposed to digging in and well, we have to have this and we have to have that. Well, let's find a compromise that gets us all across the goal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all there to help each other, and so keeping your personal emotions down.
Yeah.
And what is it that we're trying to get to, and what is the end goal, and basically trying to keep that level head through all of it, instead of it being an emotional piece.
And that's very hard to do because what we do is very emotionally driven. Right, and maybe not as much on the commercial side, but definitely on the residential side.
Well, and here's one thing too. So much of AI is talked about, right? And so I think sometimes, at least residentially, we're trying. We're being taught that AI is taking over all of it. But at the end of the day, AI can't take the emotion, the connection, the personal one-to-one connection.
The relationship.
AI is fantastic in so many different spaces in our industry. I mean, we use it every day, but as far as just people want to have a connection and they want to feel like you care.
Yeah.
And so AI can't necessarily take your personal one-to-one face-to-face relationship that you have.
Not yet, at least. That stuff's creepy.
Yeah. Well, until we'll have bots all sitting here and then chatting with each other, right?
But still, God made humans in His likeness.
Yeah.
There's that deep personal connection that you get with people that you can't replicate, and then and also on the commercial side, it can be emotional. I mean, it's mostly about the numbers, but oftentimes those numbers are bigger than their personal home, right?
Yeah.
So we're out doing a $9 or 10 or $15 million development, which is way more than their personal home. So it gets pretty emotional.
Would you say egos get in the way more in those types of transactions?
So yes.
Yeah.
So the Bible talks about that a lot, about pride.
Yeah.
And so pride gets built in,
For sure.
and that gets in the way of getting a lot of deals done.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you guys watching. Glenn, you were very insightful. Amy, beautiful as always, in helping us answer all these questions. Thank you guys so much for coming. Again, my name is Holden Hamilton with GFS Home Loans.
My website is tx-cre.com, or you can just give me a call, 210-213-6886. give me a call, text, or whatever. I'd be glad to chat with you.
And Amy, there are a few agents out here that do watch this show that are looking to join a team. So if you have any insight on that, more than welcome to share. But how do we get in contact with you as well?
So you can reach the office at 830-428-8106, and we'd be happy to chat with you.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.